What's up, world?
What's up, world?
Alright, so today we're going to talk on the topic of addiction and attachment. A few months ago, I wrote a book. It was called Addiction or Freedom. I want to thank everyone who did support and that did get the book. Thank you for that. Anybody else that wants the book and has yet to get their copy, don't hesitate to reach out, DM me, comment, and I'll send it to you ASAP. Alright, but the point of the video is we want to talk a little bit about what addiction is, what attachment is, how they're one and the same, and so on.
So, looking at addiction, the word addiction, a lot of our minds take us to like drugs, alcohol, things, substance abuses. But we fail to realize that addictions can also be very similar to attachments. Attachments are the same, actually the same as addictions. Being attached to anything, whether it is a person, place, thing, it all has an effect on our psyche, on our stability, on our balance. So your book, which is great, it just brings awareness to that. It brings awareness to the attachments that are addictions in our life, that are taking control of our lives and are keeping us from being free, from feeling freedom.
So in my book, the definition of addiction and attachment is anything that impedes your freedom, your free will. And the word impede, it just means to stop. Anything that stops your freedom. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, for example, you wanted to fast, but all of a sudden somebody came by and they had some food. And you're like, man, I was supposed to be fasting, but I can't really say no to that food. And not just because you chose to indulge, but you just could not resist it. You know what I'm saying? You attached to that food. You attached to the social setting. You're attached to not being able to be different, not saying no to the situation that's at hand. I mean, all these things.
So like when you really start reading the book, you come to realize a lot of things that are like, wow, like these are attachments in my life, and they're like, it can get scary, but it's just like knowing is just the first step. Knowing is the first step, and in your life, the way life is, it will set you up to where you do not have these attachments. Like life wants you to be free. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't want you to struggle and be unhappy and be attached or addicted to anything. You're like, that's not the universe. That's not you. You want to be free. You want to be free from these things. You don't want to feel like you have to go to work. You shouldn't have to feel like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's attachments to these other things that make us do these crazy things, like work all your life, and then, you know what I'm saying? Your attachment to wanting money afterwards. So your attachment to wanting a 401k plan, or your attachment to wanting just things, clothes, shoes. I've had this experience growing up. I got a job specifically very young, and continue to do so because I wanted shoes and clothes and things that honestly I didn't need, but it was just like that attachment to wanting to, attachment to this lack of confidence. You can also be attached, there's another part in the book where you can be attached to things that you don't want. So you don't want to look poor, you don't want to look like you don't have confidence, or that you're not the stuff, so what do? You work super hard so you can buy $100 pair of shoes. You do these crazy things that make no sense. You know what I'm saying? And just becoming aware of them that's the first part.
And what she's speaking on is something called aversion, which means dislike, addiction. So aversion, addiction is when literally you're saying you don't like something, but you're speaking on it so much, you're so focused on it that in all actuality, you're addicted to it. You can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop talking about it. Let's talk about an example that I use in the book is like racism, right? Let's say there's a white person that doesn't like black people, and all they do is, this person that, this black person that, black people this, black people that, right? It can sound like they don't like black people, but in all actuality, if all you can do is think and talk about something, you're addicted to it. You're attached to it,
And it could be the same way, like if a black person was talking about a white person, and it really, all of this can really just come from a lack of experience with this other person. Maybe you'll drive behind that is maybe that you really want to experience with this person, so you can have some knowledge about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like getting through those things, and just getting through those things, letting them go, knowing that they're attachments, and accepting that. But then doing something to change that, doing something where you're stability. You're not stressed. You're not worried. Like attachments. I think a big one is attachments to people, to these people, these lovely people that we love and we get to be around. And it's just like, that's a really big attachment because we know we have to let these people go. There has to be a time when we let these people go, or there has to be times where I am not sickly worried about this person because they're not in my presence or not with me at that time. And I think a lot of those lessons can be learned through like transitions. So people transitioning, and I think it can help. It can really help. Whether it be a dog, a family member, a friend of someone else. Like learn from those experiences and know that these are not attachments that are supposed to make us sad and stressed and worried and like have us sick throughout our whole lives. These are experiences that we're supposed to take and let go. And it's okay, and live in just that moment and live in knowing them forever. And like it gets deep. Attachments, they get deep, but you have to face them and you have to be stronger than them and be okay without everything. Be okay with yourself, just oneness.
Yeah, because now we're just talking about form, alcohol, drugs, gambling, people, it's just form. You can be like this whole world. Nothing is ever truly meant to stay. Like it's forever changing. So we can't ever attach ourselves to anything
in this world, because it is an illusionary world. It is something that seems very realistic, feels very realistic. And then, you have to let go because you're one, because you're going back to it. So it's okay. Like,
And that's the craziest thing about letting go, is that you truly never let go, because everything is you. Everything is with you. All you have to do is not be attached to it. And remember, this is how you can say, well, how do I know if I'm attached to something or if I just love it? Like, how do you know? Does it impede your freedom? Does it stop you from being free? Let's say today, Nurture was to transition. Could I still move? Could I still walk? Could I still talk? Could I still be light? Could I still be love? Or would my freedom be impeded? Everything that I wanted to do in my life, would it just halt? Would it stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you have to realize. Am I truly attached to these things? People, places, doesn't matter. Like, they things, and it's okay to enjoy it. Like, I love Nurture. I'm so grateful for this human experience, this physical experience. I love food, I love all these things. It's okay to indulge within things. It does not make you an addict if you indulge in things. It's just, can you go without? Can you freely say no? Or are you compelled to it every single time? And then you become enslaved. And that's really what it's about. Do you feel enslaved? When you woke up this morning, were you able to freely decide what you wanted to do with your day? Or did you have to go to work? Literally have to go to work or feel compelled to go to work. That's enslavement. That's not freedom. And that's attachment.
Yeah, so we're going to get into all of the nitty gritty. I think the more we talk about attachments, the more awareness, like even just now talking about it again, I feel like I have even more of awareness of it. So the more we talk about it, we can dig into deeper, just topics and aspects of attachment, whether it's relationships, to a thing, person, place, thing, to yourself. Like, we'll talk more about it.
Yeah, we can get deep, y'all, because it can go on.
It goes so deep.
But if anyone's interested, we're thinking of doing like a book club for the book. We can all talk about whatever needs to be discussed. We can help you along the way. So anybody that might be interested in like an online book club, hit us up, DM us or something, and we can maybe get that going, get that started. It's time to evoke some conversation and bring some awareness to our lives. So thank y'all for y'all time and y'all energy. Much love.
Love y'all.
Freedom is connecting to the soul and everything. Connecting to the soul and you.